Hey guys, it's getting a little chilly here, New York, October 18th of 2021. Um, so the ProShares Bitcoin ETF debuts Tuesday, October 19th. So there's been a lot of sentiment that the SEC's passing of a Bitcoin ETF would be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. By which people would buy the rumor that there would be a Bitcoin ETF passed by the SEC and then sell on the event of the passing or on the event of its being traded. So a number of crypto influentials have said this recently. For example, Alex Becker, Coin Bureau, both of whom have over 1 million followers on social media. So they both serve as both indicators and drivers of market sentiment. There's also widespread criticism about the futures-based character of the product, which is also serving to temper expectations of some people. Some people are under the impression that because the ETF is futures-based, people buying it won't have an effect on the spot Bitcoin price. And that's actually not true. When people buy the ETF buys futures, and then market makers selling those futures have to typically hedge, and that typically leads to spot buying. So if there's buying of the ETF, it has the potential to raise the price. So here's a possible scenario. Bitcoin's price rises over the next week, partly from ETF buying. If the price rises, some of the skittish hands that were sort of kept out of the market, worried about a sell the news event, come back into. The tempered expectations I discussed earlier are part of what gives potential to a bull run. So the price passes its all-time high then. It's only a couple percentage points short right now, which brings in technical traders who are lured in by Bitcoin's being in price discovery. And then the all-time high price is a publicity generator, and people are newly alerted to Bitcoin and want to buy in, and there's a convenient vehicle for them to buy. And so all Bitcoin needs is a little bit of an upper move to go on a good run. I don't think there's going to be much resistance in the 60,000s for Bitcoin, or perhaps in the early 70,000s. I think there will be a lot of resistance around $80,000. That may lead to a lot of volatility around those prices. I think ultimately, though, Bitcoin will break through $100,000 this calendar year and go to around $138,000 to put a random number out there. I think people who are more well-versed and convinced about Bitcoin will recognize $100,000 is not a very high price, and it's not suggestive of an irrational blow-off top. A $2 trillion market cap that would be rivals some of the large cap tech companies, and is 1/5 of gold, depending on what measure is used to calculate gold's market cap. So currently, Bitcoin's only about 3x from its 2017 high, even though institutional investors are adopting it very aggressively, and it's gained some regulatory clarity in the West. There are also countries coming into Bitcoin, and probably the most fascinating paragraph of the book, The Bitcoin Standard, the author talks about the possibility of a reverse bank run on Bitcoin, by which the first nations buying would lead to subsequent nations buying in increasingly rapid succession. El Salvador sort of started that this summer, and I think toward the end of this year, I sort of had the hunch we may see more evidence of that. So what I've just articulated is somewhat of an unpopular view, and I say that because implied volatility on Bitcoin call options is relatively low. Based on a year-end price of $138,000, you could have earned 15 times your money on last week's prices on December 75,000 and 100,000 strikes. And even now, you could earn about 10 times those strike prices. Yours truly was among those aping into October, November, and December calls throughout last week. Through last week, that is. I'm no longer aping. I did buy some December 75,000 calls today. I sold about 15% of my October calls this weekend. But I can't. I find it difficult to put into words. But it's like the way Bitcoin's price moved up in such a bullish manner at the beginning of the year, and then it dropped off, and there are all these expectations of hundreds of thousands of dollars in price. I think I find it very difficult to fathom that Bitcoin is not going to pass $100,000 by December. I think it's going to, as I suggested, it's, I picked out a number, 138,000. I think the next couple weeks, next couple months could be quite interesting, and a little wildness in the crypto market this fall wouldn't surprise me at all. Stay healthy, stay happy, guys. Thanks for watching.